if this is the same hatch, is this now a new timeline again? With the same white stuff in the air that with the Claudia in the montage. Is this the future? Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Tia and we're watching more Dark today. Not only are we watching more Dark, we're actually watching the season finale of season 1. Season 1, episode 10, Alpha and Omega. I'm insanely excited. I feel like, you know how usually shows do like for the season finales, they do a bigger episode. They do something super special and something that feels like a finale. I feel like this show, in some ways, every episode feels like that, you know? Every episode feels like that big final, like that there's so much happening. It's funny, actually. Now that I'm watching this and Fallout at the same time, it's funny to compare them, because in Fallout, I keep saying that even though I like every episode and there's a lot happening in every episode, but every episode feels like we're just getting started. Like the story doesn't feel like it's moving forward really fast, even though it is. For some weird reason, it feels like that. I feel like Dark is like the opposite. Because every episode feels like the episode. The episode where like shit is finally getting real and things are finally starting to happen. But it happens in every episode. Every episode feels like the finale where like things are happening here and here and oh my god and you know, like cliffhangers and crazy things and plot twists and all that. Like every episode feels like that. So I'm very excited to see what this season finale will be. Will it feel as epic as every other episode of this show, or will it be even more epic? I'm here either way. I feel like there were so many cliffhangers last episode, or so many things that I'm now like, oh my god, like dying to know more about. First thing that comes to mind is the last thing, I think, when Claudia comes to the Tannhaus, gives him the drawing of like, can you build this machine, this time machine for me? What on earth, Claudia? Regina also found like she went in the room, the hood guy, the stranger. Is that right? Someone was saying that the hood guy is called the stranger, or like, usually people call him that or whatever. Like that's kind of the character's name. I think it was the stranger. I honestly don't even know where to go find that now. And now I'm nervous. Is that the wrong name? I feel like the stranger, because I read that comment being like, oh, that's so cool, I'm gonna use that from now on. And now I don't remember what it is. But now I'm like, am I gonna call him the hood guy or the stranger? I'm gonna call him the stranger because that's a really cool name. So the even though he's been the hood guy now for a whole season for me. So the stranger, I don't even know what I was saying. I honestly have no idea. It completely disappeared from my head. But I will continue unless this was where I was going. That the stranger, we saw him in the end though, find the barrels in the trucks. The prostitute that Peter went to see earlier and stuff was there as well. I don't think they are like involved in this though. But anyways, so the stranger is there with the barrels. That's very interesting for me as well. And Bartosz went into the car with Noah again. After freaking Claudia came to see him. And then he said to Noah that everything happened the way you said it would. I hope that we, if not see those scenes, at least find out what Noah has actually been saying to him. What could he have said before that now made Bartosz contact him again and go and see him again. And Hannah went to Alexander to show him the bag of the where she had found his real ID and stuff. So he's actually Boris. Am I right? Oh, that happened. Like, so much happened, and so many things that I'm so excited to find out more about. Ulrich is stuck in the 50s. He's arrested now by Tiedemann again. Or for the first time, kind of, if we're in the 50s, I guess. Yeah, this show is unbelievable. Really, really entertaining and dark, mysterious, really smart. And I keep saying that, like, it's good that I write notes and everything and try to keep the map, like, updated and stuff. But yes, like, the last couple episodes have started to make my brain melt, so we'll see what happens with this finale. I'm very, very excited to watch it. I'm very excited to see which timelines we will go. Are we gonna be in all of them again now that it's the finale? Because often in finales, it's like you have to have every character in them and whatever. Can we somehow show every character, every age of every character in this episode? Is that even possible? Are we going to see new characters, or is it like, I think we have quite a lot going on at the moment, but I would not be surprised at all if there was, like, when we think that the mountain of stuff that we need to figure out can't get any bigger, you know, even though it's a finale, they're gonna, like, dump a whole new thing on it that we're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't know. But I'm very excited. Thanks for watching this, guys. All the legends watching this beforehand, thank you, everyone. You're awesome. I hope you had a good Easter. Because now it's Easter in between, so that's why it's taking a little bit longer again for me. We were away for Easter, and I hope you're having a good week now. For everyone who's watching the show for the first time, again, I will be very impressed if someone is doing it as slowly as I am. But if you are, let me know what you're thinking. And everyone else, help me out if there's things that I miss. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for pointing things out and showing interest. It's really nice. And everyone who's watching on YouTube later on, thank you as well. You can like and subscribe to the video. And if you want to see episodes beforehand, or my videos to the episodes beforehand, this is the last episode of season 1. So episodes 1, 2, and 3 of season 2 are already out on Patreon and for members on YouTube. So if you want, you can check it out. If you want. Now we're just gonna watch, because I have a feeling that this is gonna be a long one. I was considering doing 2 episodes today, like filming 2 episodes, but then I'm like, I've done that once with Fallout from season 1 to 2, that I watched the last, like the season finale and then the first episode of season 2 on the same day. And I really regretted it, because I feel like it needs a little bit, I feel like every episode of Dark should kind of be filmed separately, because I feel like it needs some air in between. I want to at least leave air in between now, this last episode and then the first one that I will be posting next week, hopefully. Or about a week from now, whenever this is coming out. So I'm not filming today. I'm focusing on this one. Also prepared that it will be a long one. So thanks for watching, guys. And let's do it. Dark, season 1, episode 10. Alpha and Omega. Let's go. The day of Mikkel's disappearance. Thank you for being clear about this. I love that this show doesn't think that, oh my god, Beth. I love that this show doesn't think that we are, or they think that we are quite smart watching it. They don't over-explain things. But I do appreciate it also when they do explain things. That we're not watching this now being like, what is this? When are we? What is going on? Which is me most of the time in the show. But oh my god, okay. So this is him in 2019, the day that Mika disappeared. When Charlotte asked if he came here. So he was there, he just didn't actually go and do anything. Because Charlotte also went to, like, ask questions there. He is so suspicious. I love that we are showing him, hopefully finding out something. I mean, I feel bad for him, but then I'm also kind of scared of him. What? It's fine. Okay. Well, first of all, we'll take a pillow. I'd like to introduce a new pillow to this channel. It's an upgrade to the old one. At least for me, it's an upgrade. Hope everyone enjoys this. Okay. Oh my god. That was the first time in the show, because that's like one of the things that I have really liked about the show is like when I would try to describe it to people, I kind of don't like saying that it's a time travel show, because time travel show sounds like something completely different than what this is, I think, even though this is exactly, or that is exactly what this is, whatever. But I like how like realistic it is, and there's nothing visually about it that is like supernatural or something that couldn't actually happen or whatever. There's no CGI, and or maybe there is, but nothing like crazy like now we just saw. Now we are doing something. I don't know if this is like, if this is the beginning of like now we're gonna start seeing more stuff like that, or what that was, but interesting. Do you know when we were in the hatch before some episodes ago, and I was saying that I kind of hope or guess at least that the hatch is gonna be some kind of place where you can time travel. You don't have to go to the cave every time, but like the hatch is somehow it can happen here as well. Well, now I think it has happened. There was like a tear in the air, just like there in the middle of the room, and then a body fell, and that was Matt's body. So his body fell here, but then it was found in the forest when they were looking for Mikkel. They found Matt's body there. So Peter probably takes it there or something then. This explains the red dirt as well, because the red dirt is from here, from the hatch. Noah was cleaning it in that one episode with his bare chest and a huge tattoo in his back. But also Peter looks completely shocked by this, kind of like us. Like he's not expecting the tear to happen. He's not expecting a body to fall from it. He looks really like terrified, which makes me even more confused. This is so nice. This light is so nice. This is a little bit like it looks like 10 years ago. You know, the CGI, it looks a little... But that's fine. I can't believe it just fell like that too. Yeah, he like doesn't know what to do. He's like, maybe CPR will do it. Because we've seen it before that like Helge has been bringing the kids out, for example, and oh my god. So he actually had his like ID and stuff on him that Peter finds and then calls Tronte. Because this is Tronte's son who went missing 33 years ago. But that's crazy. If Tronte is gonna, well, we'll see what happens, but if Tronte is gonna find out, because when we have seen him after this event, so after the season starts, he hasn't in any way seemed like he knows or he has any information. You know, when he's with his wife, when he's with Ulrich, he's not like, Matt's body fell from this stair in the air to the hatch at the cabin and we took it to the forest or something. You know, like he has been like completely normal about it. Very interested to see what he will. But is this also why they're working together then later on? That they didn't really like work together before this?
Es gibt hier was du sehen solltest.
Something here you should see.
Es geht deinen Sohn. Nein, nicht Ulrich. Warte.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Wie ist es? Ist unmöglich.
Yeah, they both look completely shocked by all of this.
What?
Imagine that feeling. That is insane. You didn't invite me to this party. Oh my god.
Claudia.
Yes. Because they used to have an affair in the 80s.
Es gibt eine Menge, das ich euch erklären muss. Vorher müssen wir Mats an den Ort bringen, wo gefunden werden soll.
To the place where he is to be found.
Bleibt nicht viel Zeit.
Oh my god. Guys, this is great. This is one thing that really makes it feel like a finale, that we start from this timeline. We go back to the same time, the same day where the pilot took place. That feels very season finale-esque. The fact that Claudia was here on that day though, that's crazy. I mean, I feel like from now on, anything we hear about Claudia or see from her is not gonna be that crazy, because I'm like, of course, she's everything, everywhere, all at once. And she knows so much, which is so cool. But yeah, her and Tronte in the 80s, they were having an affair. This looked like Tronte has not seen her since then. It seemed a little bit like Peter had no idea who she was. I don't know if that's true, but she just said his name. She was like, Peter. And he didn't say anything like, what are you doing here? Or anything, you know. But this makes me feel a little bit like when we saw Tronte and Peter work together, or they were together in the hatch with the book and all of that stuff, and I was like, what why are they working together? And I was so suspicious about them and like how much do they know and how everything. Now I feel a little bit more like this is when it happened for the both of them. That until this point they were not really involved in the whole thing. That Claudia shows up here and then she maybe explains everything to them. Maybe the book is from her too, the notebook that they were looking at with the times and dates and things. I don't understand why the body, like why Max's body fell through that. I'm sure we're not supposed to understand. That also feels very season finale, that something completely new happened, something that we haven't seen before like that. We haven't seen like CGI like that in the show. But yeah, I don't have any explanation for why that would happen. Why would he fall through it? Why did like Helge or Noah or someone not like, if there was a tear like that, that they would like carry him through or something? How did he fall from above, you know, on the ground like that? And then Claudia comes and she's like, we need to take the body to where he is supposed to be found. Because she knows that's what the vibe that I'm getting now, that she is somehow above maybe everyone else except for Noah. Even though I think in the last episode I was talking about it, that I don't think anymore that Noah is the one on top of everything, who knows everything. There has to be someone still higher than him. Claudia is very much up there and she clearly knows stuff. She's been to the future then, I guess. She knows where the body is going to be found. We've seen her in 2019. She went last episode to talk to Bartosz and stuff. So I guess she's been to 2019 before then as well. That wasn't like the first time. Because this is now the beginning of the show, like that timeline. I feel like this, like me pausing and talking, is mainly just talking to myself, trying to like make sense of everything. I don't know how much this is actually adding to the reaction or to like analyzing too much. I feel like I'm just like, so this just happened, as we just watched it happen. So I'm sorry about that. But yes, I was also asking someone in the comments if the intro, we were talking about the intro, and I was asking if the intro is going to be the same in the other seasons. So I'm very excited to see if it's going to change for season 2. Was this the last time we've seen that intro? 12th of November. 12th of November. Oh, absolutely no. Oh, fuck off. Unless it's Marta or something. No, it doesn't sound like that. Ew, 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 ew. I hate that. I hate that. No, let's see that there's no one there. That was just a dream. Yeah, take your meds, Jonas. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Just that shot and the sounds. Because the stranger has great sounds that we've talked about many, many times in these videos. Great sounds always happening in the background when he's on the screen. Now, well, even though this was a dream, but these sounds that are happening when we're seeing Jonas here. With those sounds. Very different kinds of sounds than the stranger, but still. And 12th of November, I think now we are back in the real time, in the normal timeline, right? But also I have a note that Helge's accident took place 12th of November 1986. So I'm here for all of it. Or he's not gonna take it. Oh my god, Jonas. I'm worried for him. I really like him. Is he gonna go back to the cave? Oh. Is this like a relationship talk or?
Es tut mir leid. Ich hab Scheiße gebaut.
kenne ich selber nicht mehr wieder.
Es ist egal, okay? Alles gut.
He's like, he knows so much now. I wonder if he knows stuff about her or something, you know? He seemed so creepy, being like, everything is okay.
Meistens kommt er ja nach ein paar Stunden wieder. So lang war er noch nie weg.
Yeah, well, he went to
War mein
He went
Kollege
to
Ulrich
86,
Nielsen
right?
wieder hier? Nur am Samstag, als er Herrn Doppler so attackiert hat. Als hätte ihr Schwiegervater was mit der Sache zu tun.
Well, we are time jumping based on the sound. I really hope that Charlotte finds things out. She seems like she's in a position where she will. And I love that we're using this treehouse so much. When we saw it for the first time, I think I was like, one day we're gonna see it be built. Have we seen it in the 50s? Is someone gonna build it in the 50s?
Wusstest du es?
Wusste was?
Oh. You know what I keep thinking of, like, all the things that I hope will happen in this show and I hope we talk about. Even when I list things at the beginning of this episode, like what happened last episode and what do I want to hear more about and what I'm more excited about. This show has so many of these things, especially if nothing happened with it last episode. I usually don't mention it and I kind of forget about it. This is like, this should be one of the highest things on my list. But I have not even thought about it. That Jonas would go and talk to Ines in the present day. Because when we saw him in the 80s and he was at the hospital and he was trying to talk to her, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for him to talk to the middle Ines. Like that version of her. But it never even crossed my mind that I should be like expecting him to talk to the old Ines, his grandmother. Did you know, he asks. This is great.
Wusste was?
Der Junge aus der Zukunft. Du wusstest es?
Yeah. This is fantastic. Oh my God, she's gonna actually give him something. Like, tell him something. But he already burned it.
Ich habe ihn verbrannt. Seit wann weißt du es?
Eigentlich wusste ich es schon immer.
Yeah. Wow.
Als dein Vater zu mir kam, war er ein kleiner, verstörter Junge. Er hat mir gesagt, er kommt aus der Zukunft. Ich habe ihm nicht geglaubt.
Well, I don't
Was du
know
gewusst hast.
who would believe, or like, you know, that's a crazy thing
Warum
to
hast du
actually
nicht mehr
believe.
gedacht?
Ich wusste nicht, dass er sich das Leben nimmt.
Aber du hättest Mickel retten können. Ich habe jetzt noch eine Oma und die ist Direktorin an meiner Schule.
Ja.
Ihr Mann, der nebenbei meine Mutter fickt, sucht seinen Sohn, der mein Vater ist.
Like, this sentence, oh my God. This should be like the slogan for this show. Her husband, who's fucking my mom, is looking for his son, who is my father. Yeah, that's right. Because when we were finding this out, I didn't even think about it at first that Mikkel is, or then Marta, for example, is his aunt. And then Ulrich and Katarina are his grandparents and stuff like this. But then in the last video, I think we were talking about that again. or talking about it and being like, that is so like so crazy. And yeah, it's right, it is getting so complicated. Like now if he's saying that you should have saved Mikkel, if she would have saved Mikkel, you, like, Jonas would not be born. And so many other things, of course, would be so different. I would like to see what would happen if someone actually changed something. How much it would affect and what it would look like, the effect on this show. Like, for example, if she would have stopped Mikkel from going to the cave, and all of this would not have started, even though we don't know where it actually started. For us in this show, it started from that, everything, you know? Like, if that wouldn't have happened, if she would have stopped it or someone would have stopped it, like, how would everything be different today? Because like I said before, the change would be huge if one person was like missing from the timeline, or like, you know, like that would affect so many things. So that would be very interesting to see at some point if someone actually changed something. Because I feel like so far when things have been changed, they were things that had already happened before. Like Ulrich thinking that he killed Helge, or thinking that even beating him with the rock would change something. It doesn't, because that had already happened before, because the Helge, the middle Helge and the old Helge both have the ear thing, like it had already happened, you know. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we will see someone actually change something and how that will affect things. This is so cool that they're having this conversation. And that she still, after all this time, seems so confused about it, of course. Like, this is such a weird thing to know about your son, or to know about anyone, that he said he's from the future. I thought he has a crazy imagination. But then at some point she would have figured it out. And what do you do with that information? But still she seems very bothered by the whole thing and kind of like doesn't know much. She doesn't seem like Claudia or Noah or someone who is like, who you can clearly see that they know stuff. She seems like she knows just this part from Mikkel, but hasn't wanted to, or hasn't been brave enough or interested enough to figure out what it actually means. She's just being like, oh, I guess he's from the future and that's it, you know. That's what it feels like from this interaction, at least.
Ihr Mann, der nebenbei meine Mutter fickt, sucht seinen Sohn, der mein Vater ist. Vor ein paar Tagen habe ich meine Tante geküsst.
Yeah. Yes.
Und das Krasse ist,
I like
was
this.
da schief läuft, das sind nicht die.
Yeah.
Die sind okay. Was da schief läuft, bin ich.
Die Vergangenheit ist die Vergangenheit. Aber du lebst im Jetzt. Wer weiß, was die Zukunft bringt.
Ich will einfach nur, dass alles wieder normal ist.
Well, I think that we've already crossed that line. That's the problem. It can't go back to normal, you know, because you will die. If things would go back to normal from his point of view, Mikkel would come back and stay in this timeline and everything would be normal, but then he wouldn't exist. And God knows what would Mikkel even exist, because then Mikael would never have, like, he wouldn't exist. So Hannah would not be with him. Would Hannah then somehow gotten Ulrich earlier, you know? Would they have 3 kids, him and Katarina, and all, you know, like, so many things would be different. But it is interesting that she's saying here, like, the past is the past and you're living in the present and we don't know what the future will bring. She talks about it very much in a way that she doesn't know much, again, about this whole time travel thing. Because I feel like everyone who knows stuff about the time travel thing talk more like Tannhaus, for example, I think, or Noah. I feel like the kind of sentences they use when they talk about this is more like the past and the future is the same and everything is connected to everything and nothing is, you know, the way you think it is, and like this kind of stuff. She's very like, no, the past is the past and we're here and da da da, you know. So I'm guessing her involvement in all of this is just this, you know, that she's not in any higher place in the... Such a good transition. The casting is so good for
King hat
her.
als Kind von nichts anderem geträumt, als Zauberer zu werden.
Now he's already like kind of his normal self, like he was in the 2019. Feeling comfortable with her, showing the magic tricks and stuff, talking to her.
Und du hast den gleichen Traum?
Ja,
Ja.
aber das, was ich zaubern will, ist unmöglich.
Und was soll das sein?
I want to go back to the
Mich
future.
aufzuwachen.
Ich träumte, ich wäre ein Schmetterling. Und jetzt bin ich aufgewacht und ich weiß nicht mehr, ob ich ein Mensch bin, der gerade geträumt hat, dass er ein Schmetterling ist. Oder bin ich ein Schmetterling, der gerade träumt, ein Mensch zu sein.
Yeah.
Vielleicht bin ich beides.
Oh, he's great. This actor too, who's playing the young Mikkel, is so fantastic.
Mein Name ist Egon Tiedemann. Vielleicht fangen wir einfach mal damit an, dass Sie mir Ihren Namen verraten.
Tiedemann.
Oh my,
Egon, ja. Natürlich.
oh my god. I love how, now that Ulrich is in this timeline, I love how he has just this like mad look in his eyes and he's just here to like kill Helga or whatever, you know? And then he finds his dad and his grandma driving into town. And I think he caught on to what is going on quite fast, which is nice. And now he's just kind of laughing about everything. He hears this guy is called Egon Tiedemann. And he just laughs about it. He's like, of course you are. Because I'm in the fucking 50s. Like, of course it would be the young you. The young version of my nemesis from the 80s. Like, this is so good. This is so fantastic.
Egon, ja. Natürlich.
My only aim is to take many lives. The more, the better I feel.
Es ist ein Song aus den 80ern. Ich kann Ihnen jetzt schon verraten, Sie werden ihn nicht mögen.
He will not. It is very true. This is fantastic. Also, this light and this place where they're taking these photos looks so cool.
Warum haben Sie die Kinder getötet?
Ich habe die Kinder nicht getötet, ich habe versucht, sie zu retten.
Wo ist der jetzt?
Wo ist er jetzt? Ich kann das ändern. Ich kann ändern, dass das alles passiert, aber dafür muss ich raus hier. Blick in die Kamera, bitte. Blick in die Kamera.
This is such a cool scene. The like sound and everything is really cool. And it's so intense to watch it because we are on Ulrich's side because we know he's telling the truth. But then I think someone like Egon, like the kind of character he is and his role as the police and everything, he's like the last person. I think he's one of the last people in this whole show so far who would believe this. Because first of all, he's from the 50s, which I think is the age or is the year where it would be the hardest to convince someone of this whole thing. You know, first of all that. And second of all, he seems like a very, just like a normal, traditional person who is kind of boring and, you know, just very like this. I'm a police officer and I do the right thing and, you know. If it was like Tannhaus, for example, a scientist, or someone like this, or Ines, or someone who would be a little bit more like, someone would say something crazy and they would be like, interesting. You know, not like someone says something crazy and they're just like, no, this is not true. That's why this is so frustrating for us. Even though I understand them both, of course. Of course it makes sense. Or like, of course it doesn't make sense to him. Hear this crazy man say this. But also Ulrich is not helping his own case. He is sounding very crazy. He could have explained himself better, more calm and more like sincere, not so like emotional and angry. And I don't think this is gonna help that now he knows that this is Tiedemann. I think that's only gonna make things worse when it comes to him trying to communicate with him. But I really like this scene.
Wo ist jetzt? Ich kann das ändern. Ich kann ändern, dass
He's just like, I can change everything. You know, like he must know that he sounds insane.
Dein Horizont ist genauso klein wie diese Scheißstadt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lass mich los, lass mich los!
Small-minded is a good.
Sollst du eigentlich schon oder kam das erst später, nachdem deine Frau dich verlassen hatte, du gemerkt hast, wie jämmerlich und erbärmlich du bist? Lass mich los, lass mich!
See, he's like.
Lass mich zu meinem Sohn! Ich muss meinen Sohn suchen!
He's just hurting his own case. That's what he's doing. I don't blame him. This is a crazy situation he's in. And he has to be so desperate at this point, you know? But like I said, him finding out that this is Tiedemann is not going to help. Even now, he already is starting to like yell at him, call him names, point out something bad about his future, about his drinking and all of this, which is just going to make Tiedemann, I don't think, believe him, but will be just more and more mad at him. And I think having an experience like this when he is young and Ulrich is young, old, when they're both the middle versions, having an experience like this in the 50s will for sure very much affect his experience then when he's the old version and Ulrich is the young version in the 80s, because Ulrich is the same person, even though he of course does not think in that moment that this is the same guy. But he's like, they are similar, and I hate this kind of guys. So I think Ulrich is hurting his own case in so many levels. Right now, in the 50s where he is, and in the future, in the 80s where he will be, you know. But it is cool to see. It is very, very cool.
Ich habe auf dich gewartet. Donnerstag.
Oh yeah, that feels like a year ago.
Ich habe für dich gelogen. Frankreich, Baguette, bla bla bla.
He's so mad now.
Martha hat mir alles erzählt. Es ist einfach so passiert. Ich wollte wirklich... Was wolltest du nicht? Mich sitzen lassen? Mich anlügen? Mit meiner Freundin rummachen? Du bist ein krankes Stück Scheiße. Genau wie dein Vater.
Oh boys. I mean...
Mann, was soll der Scheiß?
Yeah.
Seid ihr bescheuert?
Yes. And I think they both have a good reason for it. Like, Bartosz definitely has a good reason to be mad at him. He already there listed quite a few very good reasons. And I'm still very interested to know what Noah has actually told him. Has Noah told him something about Jonas? Mikael, all this stuff? Or has he stuck more to the Claudia, Regina, like his family side of things? But yeah, it feels like so long ago when they were gonna go together to see Noah. And Jonas didn't show up because he was making out with her.
Seid ihr bescheuert?
It's nice, I think, for us that we see that Jonas is a good person. I would say, at least. Even here, the fact that we saw it in the last episode when Marta was kissing him. Marta was the one who kept saying that this is wrong, we shouldn't do it. Marta, of course, thought that it's because of Bartosz, which would even help this argument now, even though he meant that it's because you're my aunt. Lol. But the fact that he wanted to walk out at that point, she was the one who kept telling him to stay, and then she's the one who kissed him and all of this, and then he's the one who left after the kissing. Well, he's the one who's trying to be like, no. And then there's this scene at the school where Bartosz is like attacking him, beating him, whatever. He's he's fighting back when he says about his dad, like, you're a coward like your dad. That's when he like attacks him back. But then even when the fight is over, she comes and like, stop it. Then he's the one who like walks away. Because then for Bartosz, for example, I don't know if we have seen him like do bad things, but even the way he talks about things, even the way he was talking, since the very first episode, there's something like gross about him, like personality wise. I think Jonas's personality, of course, he's had a very traumatic year, for example, with his dad dying and everything, and what has happened for sure. But when you think of character, I think what we've seen so far, Jonas's character seems and feels quite good and pure, and like he's a good guy. He has problems and he can be weird, of course, but he seems like, you know, we're supposed to root for him. And his yellow rain jacket that he wears all the time, which I love. Hi again.
Sie haben ihn repariert.
Das ist ihrer. Das ist meiner.
Yeah, because now he has
Vor vielen
two.
Jahren gebaut. Es ist derselbe Apparat, nur nicht im gleichen Zustand. Verstehen Sie?
It's so crazy.
Als könnte man den Beginn und das Ende einer Sache gleichzeitig betrachten.
Alpha and Omega.
Das sendet eine Art Signal.
Freaking phone. He still has it. And it still works.
Dieser Block hier hat sich nie gedreht. Er war in den Bauplänen, aber ich wusste nie wofür. Dieses Ding kommuniziert mit dem Apparat. Nicht nur die Vergangenheit beeinflusst die Zukunft. Auch die Zukunft beeinflusst die Vergangenheit.
Yeah. See? This is the kind of stuff that, like, I mean when I'm saying that Ines, for example, is not talking about things like this. She's just saying the past was the past and now we're here, you know? It's not just the past that influences the future influences the past.
Verstehen Sie? Yes. Hätten Sie mir nicht gezeigt, wie der Apparat in der Zukunft aussieht, hätte ich ihn nicht so bauen können. Ein Paradoxon. Die durch einen elektromagnetischen Impuls zu einem schwarzen Loch implodiert.
Implode into a black hole.
Das Gleiche muss bei dem Störfall im AKW passiert sein. Dass vielleicht alles in meinem Leben auf genau diesen einen Moment hinausgelaufen ist. Dass ich Teil eines Puzzles bin.
Yes.
Weder verstehen noch beeinflussen kann.
That's right. It's the show. You should watch the show. It's great.
Verraten Sie mir, wie es ist in der Zukunft?
Ich hoffe morgen schon anders als heute.
I'm hoping that by tomorrow it will already be different. So the 13th. So like tomorrow something big is supposed to happen. Or are we already supposed to know what the big thing is? I don't think so. But since we are in the season finale, I would like to think that this is where the tomorrow will happen as well. The future will influence the past, and so on. This is so cool.
Dein Vater wurde doch entführt, als er klein war. Weißt du, wann genau das war?
Können wir reden?
Wann genau war das? 53, 54?
Whenever he wants to talk, or maybe he's like when she's asking questions that he has hard time answering because he doesn't want to lie to her, but he also can't tell the truth. That's when he's like, can we talk? And she's just like, no, what year? 53, 54? I can guess 53.
Im Herbst 53.
53. Vor genau 66 Jahren.
Yep. Come on, Charlotte.
Hör zu, Charlotte, ich muss mit dir reden.
Nope.
Später,
Bye-bye.
okay? Ich muss los.
Her relationship is so interesting. But I'm also thinking about Peter, whose dad is Helge. And they're talking about that Helge was kidnapped in 53. Because all of that happened, the Ulrich chasing him down to the cabin, beating him with the rock. And then the scene we saw, which we still don't know how that connects to what. How did then that Helge with the blood all over his face end up in the hatch, in the room with the wallpaper? Because I guess that is the kidnapping. I'm sure people in the 50s think that they are connected, that he somehow was in that room or disappeared and was beaten up, even though of course Ulrich didn't take him to the room with the wallpaper, right? But clearly he has to come back from wherever or whenever or whatever that place is with the wallpaper. He has to come back from there because he still has to grow up to be the middle Helge in the 80s and the old Helge now in the 2019, where he's the dad of Peter and everything. But still, I'm like, am I crazy that, like, remembering that a long time ago they were talking about, Peter was saying that he came to Vinden later on, that he wasn't born here. Or at least Alexander was, but somehow I have a feeling that Peter had said that too, that he's not from here. But I'm so happy that Charlotte is figuring things out. In the 50s, they must also be thinking that because they think that those things are connected, that Helge disappeared and Ulrich was the one who was like beating him up and stuff. They must think that he did something to him. So if there was a kidnapping in the 50s, they were taking him to custody now and taking photos of him and stuff. It would be possible for Charlotte to somehow find from some archives, find, I don't know, the photos or at least the name of the person who kidnapped Helge in 53. Oh my god, this is great. Well, here is Helge. I really like his jacket. It's quite similar to the jacket he is wearing as a kid in the 50s.
Kann ich Ihnen helfen?
See, this is crazy. Them actually interacting.
Du musst aufhören.
Oh my god. Yeah, because he said I can stop him.
Muss ich aufhören. Nützt sich aus. Ich glaube, Sie verwechseln mich. Klar, Sie verwechseln mich.
Yeah.
Das habe ich schon mal gesagt.
Oh my god, imagine how mind-blowing. Imagine how mind-blowing this would be. That's so crazy. And it's also funny how normal the old Helge seems here. Because in 2019, everyone thinks he's crazy and they're treating him like he's crazy and he's just like, tick-tock, tick-tock, I need to stop him, da-da-da-da-da. And now he's actually here where he is trying to stop him, I guess himself. I think this is what he has been talking about, right? That he's doing the thing now that he was supposed to do. How easily he speaks now and how much more normal he seems here than we've seen him before.
Alles, was Noah sagt, ist eine Lüge. Ist nicht auserwählt. Du bist nicht auserwählt. Will die Welt nicht vor dem Bösen retten. Ist das Böse.
Right.
Heute ist der Tag. Der Anfang und das Ende.
Today is the beginning and the end.
Mach nicht dieselben Fehler wie ich.
Oh my god.
Du musst aufhören. Du musst aufhören.
See, like something like this, if this would actually now work, and the middle Helge would now stop doing what he's supposed to do. And if that would actually be the thing that... I have to stop. If that would actually change things, I would be very interested to see how that would affect things in the present day. And I think this would be the time to do it in a season finale like this. Would be a good time to do some like big change or something huge like that. But also he didn't seem... Like the vibe that I get from Helge, the middle Helge, is that he's just so scared and completely like controlled by Noah. He's just like, why would God want this to happen? You know, even though he clearly doesn't want to do any of this and knows that it's wrong, but Noah is still able to like talk him into it all the time. So I would be very surprised if now this would, because he even here like ran out pretty much crying, you know? Like, I would be very surprised if he actually now goes to Noah and, like, kills him or something. And he's like, I won't listen to you anymore. He didn't seem convinced. He seemed just scared and shocked by this interaction with himself. Is that the first time we have seen in the show someone interact with themselves? Like, talk to themselves? I think so. Oh yeah. What did he do when we didn't see what he did in the attic?
Was? Mit wem denn? Das ist nicht so wichtig.
Nothing matters anymore, Mom.
Alles wird gut. Ich habe noch was in der Schule vergessen. Mach dir keine Sorgen, es wird alles gut, Mama.
This feels like a goodbye. He's gonna go and try... I don't know. Is he gonna go and try and save Mikkel, which knows that he will kill himself? Is that why he's saying goodbye? Based on the conversation that he had with Ines before, I would think that that's what he would want to do. And Hannah is just like, okay.
Charlotte hat mich nach der Hütte gefragt. Und Helge.
Noch ein paar Stunden, dann ist es vorbei.
A few more hours and it will be over.
Mats wird leben.
What?
Glaubst du?
Oh, do you believe her? I mean, Claudia? I can't, like, this is so brilliant the way that they built this. The plot holes that they leave are like perfectly placed and perfect sizes of holes in the plot. Of, like, you know, that we know that they're now talking about Claudia. But then when we're like, wait, so what did Claudia say? We're like, oh, we didn't hear what Claudia said. Like the way that they tell the story, you know, jumping from here to here and being like, giving little informations here and there. It's, oh my God, it's so good.
Alles, was sie gesagt hat, ist in den letzten 8 Tagen passiert. Genauso, wie es hier steht.
Oh yes, of course. Now it's been, yeah. Because when they saw Claudia in the beginning of this episode, was in the beginning of this show. And now we are in the present day, so 8 days later. Everything she said would happen, has happened in the last 8 days.
Alles, was sie gesagt hat, ist in den letzten 8 Tagen
Yeah.
passiert. Genauso, wie es hier steht.
Und warum sind dann die Hälfte der Seiten rausgerissen?
Half the pages have been torn out.
Was passiert nach heute?
Nach heute ist alles neu.
After today, everything will be new. What? See, like something really big is happening, is supposed to happen, is gonna happen, has happened, something. Like today is the day, and it's the 12th of November 2019. And Helge. I would want to say we're counting on you. Oh, but you're already with him, so never mind.
Wenn es Gott nicht gibt, warum glauben wir dann an eine Lüge?
See, he's so lost.
Weil wir jede Lüge dem Schmerz vorziehen. Vor Jahren, ich war noch ein kleiner Junge.
I don't believe
kam ein
he's ever
Fremder
been a
zu
little
uns.
boy.
Er sah aus, als wäre er im Krieg gewesen. Hab nicht viel gesprochen. In seinen Augen war diese Traurigkeit, die man manchmal sieht bei denen, die sterben wollen, aber das Leben lässt sie nicht. Nichts ist umsonst. Kein Atemzug. Kein Schmerz.
Okay.
Den Schmerz hätte ich gemacht, Helge. Aber er hat keine Macht mehr über dich.
Because you have the power over him, not his pain. Yeah, he has convinced him once again.
Wer ist der Nächste?
Who is next? I don't even want to know. He has the same book. Because this was the same book that they got from Claudia. He's the next one they're gonna go and kill. Put in the chair. Well, sorry guys, he has time traveled now. To, I don't know what time. Did he go back to the 80s? Oh my god.
Machen Sie sich keine Sorgen. Sie können ihn noch gerne besuchen kommen.
Oh, say they are gonna take him.
Wissen Sie, ich habe mich entschieden, ich möchte adoptieren. Und gerne die Vormundschaft für den Jungen übernehmen, solange das Adoptionsverfahren läuft.
Das ist leider nicht so einfach. Also ich kann das hier nicht zwischen Tür und
Der
Angel
Junge mag
entscheiden.
mich.
Yeah. I think on some level, even though she said in the future, the old Ina said that she didn't believe him when he said he's from the future. I think on some level she does believe him. Or she doesn't think that he's completely just making shit up for fun or something, you know? Like there is clearly something very special and very weird about him. Maybe she's just interested? Because she, again, even the old version of her didn't seem like she actually knows stuff about time travel. Maybe she is just interested at this point. She's not like, oh, that's the guy who's gonna be Jonas's dad and whatever, so I need to like take care of him and not let the system take him or something. She doesn't seem like she's involved, that she knows Noah or something at this point, that she's like, I'm supposed to do this. And like she said, not Helga, Jon, no, what? Mikkel seems to really like her. And she seems to really like it. Like they seem to have like a nice bond. So it does make sense that she would adopt him.
Ich bin die einzige Person, die überhaupt an sich ranlässt. Und ich mag ihn auch.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this. And young Charlotte again. Charlotte, I feel like Charlotte is gonna be the key of this whole show in some way. She's gonna...
Welcher Tag ist heute?
Der 12.
Ich meine, welches Jahr?
86.
He's like, good, I'm in the right place.
Was machst du hier?
Ich hole jemanden zurück von den Toten.
Yeah.
Kannst du die zurückholen?
Nein, du musst sie holen, wenn sie noch jünger sind.
Mhm.
Aber dann sind sie doch noch gar nicht tot.
Das ändert aber nichts daran, dass sie einmal sterben werden.
Ja.
Du spinnst ja.
Vielleicht.
It's possible. It's so fun. That's so cool that we have these scenes with now young Charlotte and Jonas talking about the birds bringing them back to life. But yeah, it's true. He's clearly here to save his dad. Not even to save his dad, to save Mikkel. He's bringing back someone who's dead, so he's like sacrificing himself. And then when Charlotte asks, how do you do that? He's like, you have to find them when they're younger. Which is what he is doing. He is finding his dad when he is younger. And oh my god. Oh my god, it's actually happening. She's gonna see it. My God. Oh, this is so perfect. This is so good. Oh my God, Charlotte, now is your time to shine. This is so good, because what did the voice message say? Ulrich, when he was leaving, he said that Helga is the one who is killing the kids, but not now, like in 86. And because Charlotte already is the one who has the whole 33-year thing not figured out, but like she's thinking about it. She's trying to figure it out. And now she's finding this evidence. This is evidence. Ulrich has gone missing. I don't know how many days it's been now since he left. And it's funny because he's kind of in this limbo in 2019 where no one really cares. No one is like dying to find him. Charlotte has like fired him, or he's like on whatever, she put him on like holiday, go and get some rest, right? Katarina has like found out that he's been cheating and all of this, so she's not probably like, I need my husband back, you know. Hannah is crazy and wants Ulrich, like wants Alexander to just hurt Ulrich and take everything from him that he has. His kids, well, one of them is Mikkel, who is in 86. He's now in 53. So Mikkel is of no help, and I think the other two kids are not like, neither of them is gonna be like, go and find the dad. At least at this point, it doesn't seem like that. So there's no one in his life who is like, the way he's looking for Mikkel right now. No one is looking for him like that. Except maybe now Charlotte will, that she has this information and these clues, and you know, I mean, I don't know how she would do that, how she would possibly do that. And I would also like to know if Charlotte still has memory of Jonas, like meeting him when she was younger. Is she gonna connect that at some point, that wait, that was Jonas from today, you know? Because she has this 33-year thing going that she's like figuring out. I love that this music is back. But this does not look good.
Du willst nicht reden? Ich bin dir weit zu reden.
Terrible. I'm like, do we feel bad for Ulrich? Kind of. I mean, it's a terrible situation he's in. I can't see a way out for him. Oh my God. No one knew that he would come. I mean, there is no way that he's gonna die. He's still, in my head, the main character of this show. But here he is. The freaking wallpaper room. Oh, God. Because he's so much bigger than the other kids that they have had there. Like, it would be so much harder to, like, control him and try to put him in the chair, for example. And the music is not on or anything right now.
Du brauchst keine Angst zu haben.
Hey, was soll das? Was ist das hier? Warum haben Sie mich eingesperrt?
Das war nicht ich.
It's like, of course, the stranger is here.
Das war Noah.
Wer ist Noah? Wo bin ich? Was ist das hier?
Das hier ist eine Art Prototyp einer Zeitmaschine.
Yeah.
Und du bist das Versuchskaninchen.
Yeah.
Die Passage in der Höhle liegt genau unter diesem Bunker.
The cave, I'm sorry, what? The passage in the cave lies directly under this bunker. Also, it's like, okay. But is this still the same hatch? Did the hatch have a door like this? Maybe it did.
Steht sie offen, läuft die Energie durch diesen Raum. Aber man muss sie verstärken. Kein DeLorean, kein Zischen und Dampfen. Die erste Zeitmaschine ist ein Bunker mit 4 Wänden. Lassen Sie mich hier raus. Das kann ich nicht. Weil es der einzige Weg ist, dass alles wieder normal wird. Wer sind Sie? Weißt du das nicht?
Say it.
Der Brief. Du hast ihn verbrannt. Und trotzdem existiert er noch. Du wirst diesen Brief fast 33 Jahre weitertragen, bevor du ihn weitergeben wirst. An dich selbst.
Oh my god.
Ich bin du.
My god. Oh.
Mein Name ist Jonas
My god, yes.
Ich habe dir diesen Brief geschickt. Oder sollte ich sagen mir? Alles, was du erlebst, habe ich bereits erlebt. Ich habe diesen Brief verbrannt, genauso wie du, und habe ihn von unserer Großmutter wiederbekommen. Ich habe sogar dieses Gespräch hier schon mal geführt, nur war ich damals auf der anderen Seite. Wir denken, wir sind frei, aber das sind wir nicht. Wir folgen dem immer gleichen Pfad.
Oh my god.
Wieder und wieder und wieder.
Das ist verrückt!
It is
Das macht doch
crazy,
keinen
but,
Sinn!
but it does make sense.
Verändere ich jetzt meine Vergangenheit, verändere ich auch meine Gegenwart. Und dann kann ich dieses Loch nicht ein für alle Mal zerstören.
The whole, destroy the whole once and for all. So the wormhole, was that what we saw in the beginning of this episode that Mads fell through? Is that the wormhole? So this room is right above the passage. That's why when it opens there, it also works in this room or something. But before, when they have tried with Erik and the other kids, when they've tried it in this room, has it been during the time that someone has gone through the gate? Like, do they, Noah and Helga, like, do they know that that's when they're supposed to try it? Or are they just trying it in this room to see if it works another time? Not during the time that someone is already opened the portal? Like, does Jonas, I can't believe, I have said it many times before, that maybe this is Jonas, but that is crazy. But does he know that Noah and Helga are trying like they're doing it wrong? But it feels like they're on the different sides here though. Like, does he, yeah, I guess. He's like, I'm not gonna let you out because then it would change who I am because I was not let out. He has had this conversation before with the old, when he was the younger version. And the old him, or the middle him, didn't let him out then either. So he has to just let him in. But also, the middle Jonas, knows that he's gonna be fine because he's still alive and whatever. So that gives me a little relief, because then that means that our Jonas, so the young Jonas, he will be fine. At least until he is 33 years later. That guy looks great for 33 years older than this Jonas. He would have to be like 40. I don't know how old Jonas is, like 15, 16. So he would be like almost 50. He looks great. But yeah, he looks a lot like him.
Warum hast du Martha geküsst? Wir sind nicht frei in dem, was wir tun. Weil wir nicht frei sind in dem, was wir wollen. Wir kommen nicht an gegen das, was tief in uns ist.
Stopp!
This is crazy.
Ich will das Mickel zurück. Ich will, dass es wieder normal ist. Ich will, dass der ganze kranke Scheiß aufhört!
Das willst du immer noch. 33 Jahre später. Ich will das immer noch. Aber Mickel, unser Vater ist nur ein kleiner Teil eines riesigen Geschwürs.
Yeah. I love that this show started with like Mikkel being the big mystery, and he's the one who kills himself in the beginning, and then he's the one who disappears, and all of this. And then the more episodes we watch, the smaller and smaller little Mikkel becomes in the puzzle of everything that's going on. That's one of the reasons I really like this show, that even with the picture that we had in the first episode, I would have been very happy and I would have been very interested and really like want to know what's gonna happen. But they didn't leave us there. They took us like deeper and deeper every episode, and it's so cool.
Es tut mir leid.
And then he just lays in there. Well, at least he knows and we know that he will be fine. Because Helge is also not gonna change what he did last time. Right? Even though the old him tried to change it. But poor Jonas, the young Jonas, he has gone through so much already. There it is. How can he still listen to this song like in the car when it's the song that's playing in the room? Oh my god, is that Noah? Who is in a black car like that? But also this shot. Look at this shot. And then from above. This looks insane. But why would Noah want to kill him? Because he was questioning things? Or is it still the old him who's just trying to stop him? So he's like, I'll just kill him, so I kill both of us. That would be better. Yeah. Wow. He's like Jonas. He's like, I'll kill myself in order to like save other people. That is wild. Charlotte. I love Charlotte. I know she's gonna figure stuff out. She's gonna be the hero of the show. Come to the cabin.
Gleich findet alles seinen Anfang.
It's about to begin. Oh my god. Yeah, today is the day. Something is ending, something is beginning.
Der Jonas wird das Loch zerstören. Aber was er nicht weiß, ist, dass er der Auslöser dafür sein wird, dass es überhaupt existiert. Ein Paradoxon. Das Cäsium in seiner nutzlosen Maschine ist nicht dafür da, das Loch für immer zu vernichten. Es ist dafür da, es überhaupt erst entstehen zu lassen.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The older Jonas will destroy the whole, but he will also then create it.
Ältere Jonas wird das Loch zerstören.
That is again a perfect way to describe this show.
Weiß, ist, dass er der Auslöser dafür sein wird, dass es überhaupt existiert.
Yeah, trigger is existence. Paradox.
Das Cäsium in seiner nutzlosen Maschine ist nicht dafür da, das Loch für immer zu vernichten.
So no one will ever be actually able to change things, because whenever they think they change things, someone has already, or they have already done that before. And it's not actually changing anything. Changing it would be to do what you think you should be doing, you know? But of course, if they're the same person, they think exactly the same.
Es ist dafür da, es überhaupt erst entstehen zu lassen.
That's crazy.
Er denkt, er sei der Erlöser. Claudia hat ihn belogen.
Claudia lied to him.
Die meisten Menschen sind nur Bauern auf einem Schachbrett.
There it is.
Geführt von fremder Hand. Die leben nur dazu da, geopfert zu werden für ein höheres Ziel. Jonas, Mikkel, die Kinder, sie alle sind nur unglückselige, aber notwendige Schachzüge. In einem ewigen Krieg zwischen Gut und Böse. Und draußen gibt es zwei Gruppen, die um die Vorherrschaft über das Reisen durch die Zeit kämpfen. Licht und Schatten. Wir gehören zum Licht.
Of course we belong to the light, Noah. Of course, I 100% believe you. Yeah, there's two sides. I wonder who, because Noah says that we're on the light side, which I don't believe him for a second. It could be true. But right now, I'm not like, oh, that's so nice. Noah is so great. He's on the light side. But I wonder who is on the other side. Is it then Claudia? Because I'm trying to think, like the people who I think know the most in this show are like Noah, Claudia, the hood guy, aka the stranger, aka Jonas. I would say those are the characters that I think know the most. I could say Tannhaus, but I don't think he actually knows anything. He's just very smart, and he created the machine that Jonas is now using, but I don't think he like knows stuff. So I guess then from those people, maybe it is that Noah is the other side, and then the other side is Claudia at least. He said that Claudia lied to Jonas, so maybe Claudia and Jonas are on the same, or I don't know. But yeah, we're on the light side, don't forget that, Bartosz.
Wir gehören zum Licht. Auch wenn manches, was wir tun, von dunkler Natur ist.
Something we do is of the dark
Aber nie
nature.
wurde ein Sieg ohne Opfer errungen. Solange wir in der Zeitschleife
Again, a
sind,
shot from above.
müssen wir Wissenden dafür sorgen, dass jeder Schritt genauso getan wird wie zuvor.
He died?
Egal wie unmenschlich er uns erscheint, welche Opfer er auch immer von uns abverlangt. Aber glauben wir, wirklich unmenschlich, das sind die anderen. Wir haben alles Menschliche verloren. Wir gehören zum Schatten. Deine Großmutter Claudia.
Yeah, okay, so Claudia is on the other side.
Vertraue ihr niemals.
Never trust her. No. I would way rather trust her than you. I mean, if I had to choose, I would trust Claudia. I wouldn't like just blindly be like, she seems trustworthy. But yeah, according to Noah now, he is the light, Claudia is the dark. Never trust anything she says. I can't believe old Helga is dead. In the 80s. So again, they have a body in the wrong timeline. But did he say, because there was the article that Charlotte had on the chalkboard about the accident, but it didn't show the body. I mean, probably didn't show the body in the article. But I'm like, what was the clue for her? Is it just the day? That the day is the 12th, and that's why she has it there as a clue on the board? Or just the fact that it was Helga in an accident? Exactly 33 years after... Wait, no, Helga's accident. Yeah, no, Helga's accident is this. The car accident, what they were talking about. She was asking Peter, when did Helga's accident happen? It was 12th of November 1986, so it was this, the car accident. And then when was his kidnapping? Was exactly 33 years before that, with Ulrich. I really hope that she finds some kind of photo from 86 of the dead body and finds out that it is Helga. Charlotte.
Jonas denkt, wird alles verändern, dabei ist nichts als ihre Marionette. Hat es
He
nicht
is
anders
just her
verdient.
puppet.
Die Zeit ist ein unendliches Spielfeld. Aber Millionen Zahnräder, die ineinander greifen.
And now he gives it to him.
Wir werden den Menschen aus seiner Unmündigkeit befreien. Von seinem Schmerz. Aber du musst stark sein. Kannst du das?
Bartosz is like, yeah, I don't know if I can do it. Is it time?
Es ist soweit.
It is time. For what? I love that we show that conversation because I think I am at least still I want to know what happened the last time he was in a car with him. What did they talk about? And it's still such a big mystery. Now he goes in the car with him again, and this time we show the whole conversation. Or at least some of the conversation. Which I think is a nice trick because then it makes us feel satisfied that we saw them talk in the car. So I think it kind of makes us forget that we don't know what they talked about the first time. Maybe it's not that important, maybe this was more important, this conversation, but I would still very much like to know how he convinced him to come back and stuff. What were the stuff that he was promising him or saying to him the first time? Anyways. Jonas is just... I still can't believe it. I mean, it's like, now that we know for sure that it is him, the casting once again is just insane. Insanely good. And he has the same futuristic light thing. So he thinks that this now will destroy the wormhole. But actually it will also like start it. Are we about to hear another fantastic tune in the show? And I think we're gonna...
Maybe this time.
Maybe this time.
It might pass.
Oh. Maybe this time we will see more of that CGI stuff now too. There was a little bit of like flashes coming from the machine.
In the cold,
oh my god.
At the outskirts of Sun City.
Yeah.
All my recent pasts become another man. It wants to see me fade.
Oh, Hannah. Oh my god. I've even forgotten about the lesbians.
Past voices.
But this is the kind of stuff that I mean for like a finale. This scene right here, a montage. Once again, they do great montages on this show. This feels very finale-like, even though we see this a lot, because we see a bunch of the different characters from different timelines in the same moment with the lights flickering and with the music like this in the background. Because these two, for example, haven't had anything to do with this episode yet so far, you know?
Call my name.
That's exactly the same clock I have. Wait, I have to put a photo in this video. Attach it, because I don't think I can tilt the camera right now up there. I have the exact same clock on the wall. That's so funny.
I renounce my past.
And there's the chocolate as well.
A quiet life.
Are they looking for Bartosz?
A quiet life for me.
Oh, Hannah, what are you doing? What?
Quiet life for me.
Where is she? What is this stuff floating? Is this rain? See, now I don't know anymore. I'm like, what is this? Is this the black hole thing? Because I was so used to this show not having anything like that in it. But now it's very much here. Yeah, they are all in the same room, just in different times. Charlotte and Peter, Jonas. But also this is where it was in the hatch in the beginning of this episode where, oh my god, where Peter saw the thing. And Mats fell through it. Look at this shot. What the fuck? And now they switched. Now he's here, and now Jonas is wherever he was before. So is Jonas in the 50s now? And is this in the 80s, this room? We still don't know, right? The wallpaper room. I mean, it has to be. Oh my god. So them touching fingers just, like, made them just switch or do something. I don't know where he's now. He's now in the room where Where Claudia was, with the pictures on the wall. So this is the hatch. But the hatch didn't look like this when Helga was there. Now it was empty. Guys. So if this room... He's like, why do they have a picture of me here? If this is the same hatch, is this now a new timeline again? With the same white stuff in the air that with the Claudia in the montage. Is this the future? Holy scheisse, guys. And these sounds again. Holy shit. This is like post-apocalyptic stuff. Has the plant exploded? Look at this. Yeah, look at the plant. This is the future then. I mean, we're almost done with this episode. Of course, the one thing that we're gonna do in the season finale is that we're gonna add another timeline. Because this has to be, because the plant is gone, of course. I mean, you can see it in here, right? Yeah, there, it's like, but it looks like it just happened. Or there's like smoke coming out and whatever, and there's fires here in these cars and stuff. Or at least something happened very recently. But is this now 33 years in the future? Jonas, I love that he's here, but I'm scared. He's here alone. I mean, I don't even know who he should be here with. Oh my god. It's gonna be some flying car. That sounds like a bus. Oh. Oh my god.
Runter auf den Boden! Wer seid ihr?
With masks and everything. What is this? COVID?
Wo bin ich hier? Welches Jahr ist es?
Yeah, this is clearly the future. Look at this freaking birdie bird.
Willkommen in der Zukunft.
It's at the end of the season. Well, this is a new song. Oh my god. Yeah, the stranger here, it says for, yeah, the stranger was right. It says here in the credits. Okay. Battery's running out. It's fine. We're fine. Wait, is that fine? Oh my god. I was so sure for so long that these three timelines were the ones we're gonna stay with. Because of all the Trinity knots and everything, it's so three heavy, the show. 33 years, like all this stuff. That I was not expecting us to. I was not even considering, it did not even cross my mind that we would go to the future in the show. Now, of course, it makes perfect sense. Like Claudia, for example, when you think about it, she looks very futuristic. The guns and the way she's dressed, or like now that we see these guys here with the masks and everything, I'm like, okay, yeah, Claudia makes sense in this world, the old Claudia. So did she time travel then to 2019 and then stayed there to get old and then traveled back where she was older? Who knows? But this girl with the scar is clearly someone we're probably gonna want to know who she is. We probably do know who she is already. I'll write future girl. Like, do I put her on the map? Maybe not yet, because we don't know anything about her. The only thing she said was welcome to the future. Then like knocked him out. But she is a new character at least. This is insane. So Jonas went to the future. How did he end up in the... Well, so did they both... Okay. Because he was in the wallpaper room, which I didn't think was 2019. No, it can't be 2019 because we've been to the hatch many times in 2019. So whatever time he was in the hatch, and then Helga was in the hatch, I'm guessing in the 50s. And then they touch fingers and switch to something. Then Helga is in the same wallpaper room that Jonas was in, but Jonas did not go to the room Helga was in. But the problem is that we don't know what time the wallpaper room is in for me to have any theory of like, did they both just jump to the future? Well, I'm sure the wallpaper room is not before 53. For some reason I think it's 86, but haven't we already seen it seen the hatch in the 80s as well, and it didn't look like that? Because in the 50s when we see it, when Noah is cleaning it and stuff, well, the wallpaper room has to be before 2019 because that's when Charlotte finds the piece of wallpaper from there, from the hatch. I don't know, but both jumped in time. But Helge then, the little Helge, has to go back somehow. Because he needs to still grow up to be the Helge, the middle Helge and the old Helge. So whatever time he is in now, it's not like he can stay there. He has to go back to where he originally came from. Because then Charlotte, for example, was talking about oh, Helge was kidnapped and da-da-da-da-da. But it doesn't, like, of course he came back. It's not like when your dad disappeared when he was a kid. No, he didn't disappear. Or even if he did, he came back. Because you were born. Oh my god. And that huge, like, dome that appeared outside, because there was a little one that appeared inside when Jonas, the middle Jonas, was in the tunnel with the machine, and there was the shocks, electricity things, and like little lightning things, and then the little black dome was starting to form there, and then we saw outside and there was a huge dome outside the plant that Alexander and Regina saw. I don't know if other people saw it, or we didn't see other people see it. And that, I guess, was Jonas thinking that he's destroying it, but he's also actually kind of creating it. And I guess both those things happen at the same time, and he doesn't know that. What a great first season. What a great season finale. But like I said before in the beginning of this video, that every episode of this show feels like a season finale. Jonas. But I do give it to this episode that this did feel like a finale. We found out a lot, and there was a lot of new stuff, like all of that. We saw the black hole or whatever was happening there. We saw it multiple times, these like CGI things that we haven't seen before. And we saw a completely new timeline now in the end. We're in the future, and we went back to the beginning, like a lot of things that really made this feel like a finale. a lot of people have said that season 1 is like the base for everything. Like, don't even think that season 1 is gonna be too complicated. Season 2 is like, that's when it kind of starts. I'm nervous, guys. I feel like my little notes and little me are not gonna be able to handle this. Season 2. But I'm very excited to watch it. I don't even know what to say to recap. The fact that they found Matt's body, and then I guess we don't even need to see it. But I do want to see it though. How does Tronte, when Peter and Tronte are down in the hatch and they find the body, well then Claudia comes there, so maybe Claudia is the one who convinces them or something. But like, I would like to see that moment of him making the decision of like, I found my son's body that just fell from literally from a hole in the sky, or a hole in this room, I guess. Who's been dead for 33 years, or disappeared 33 years ago. Now we found the body. How does a father's mind get to the place that he's okay with then taking that body and carrying it into the forest and just leaving it there and being like, waiting for the police to find it? He was also there trying to find Mikkel's body. He was there with that lady in the forest being like, you know, helping and looking for Mikkel when they found Matt's body, and he knew that Matt's body is there because he put it there. And then they find it and they're like, who is this strange body? We don't know who it belongs to and anything. And he's just like how is that possible? I would very much like to see what Claudia actually said to them and how did she convince them to do it. The nightmare with Mikkel and Jonas in the beginning was once again effective, so creepy. That gave me the same vibes of like the pilot when we see Mikael in the forest with all the blood and everything. That I know is not really that scary, but for me it feels like scary and uneasy, and I like don't like to watch it. And then Jonas threw away the pills, which we'll see, I guess, if that's a good thing or not. The Marta and Bartosz scene in the beginning felt strange. When Marta is like apologizing and he's like, everything will be okay, everything will be okay. Like, he seemed so creepy. There's something about him, about Bartosz, that I really don't like. Now he's also working with Noah, probably believing everything he is saying. I mean, he is very convincing, I'll give him that. But I'm nervous about the fact that Bartosz is actually listening to him. I'm so excited for Charlotte and for her to keep finding stuff out. She has so many great clues now. I can't believe that she found the articles of like Ulrich, the photos of Ulrich and all of that. And she doesn't have anyone to share this with. That's the crazy thing. Like I've said before too, in the show it feels like no one has anyone they could share things with. Like no one has friends or people they're so close to that they can actually talk to about their shit. I feel like no one has that in the show. Which is quite sad. But Jonas thinking that he's gonna go to save Mikkel and kind of kill himself while doing that, and then randomly is like kidnapped by Helga and Noah. And I can't believe he was so close. He's kind of similar to Ulrich, that he was literally in the same room with Mikkel sleeping there. Imagine if Mikkel was awake and he would have seen Jonas. But he was so close, and then they take him and now he ends up in the future. That is wild. And what is gonna be the reaction of Helge when he comes back to the room where he just put Jonas in and locked him in there? And he's gonna go back there and Jonas is not gonna be there, but it's gonna be himself as a kid. What is that gonna do to his faith? And what is he gonna say to Noah about that? That is my question. I also really do like the Ines-Mikkel dynamic. It's like fun, or not fun, but like cute to see. even though now in the present, when we saw Jonas talk with Ines, for example, and we can see the kind of person she grew up to be when she's older, and how her relationship is with her grandson and her son's wife and stuff, it doesn't seem great. But I do like the vibe that they have here in the 80s, her and little Mikkel, and her wanting to adopt him and all of this. The scene with Ulrich and Tiedemann was so cool when he's like taking the pictures and stuff. Visually it was cool, it looked so great, the light was fantastic, and the intensity in it, and the really understanding, like us understanding both sides, because Tiedemann of course thinks that Ulrich is crazy, and of course Ulrich is very frustrated with him, especially now finding out who he actually is. I also love that the phone, Ulrich's phone, has to be connected to the machine for it to work. Like, that's such a random detail and random coincidence that that happened in the first place, that Ulrich's phone is there in his shop. That he left there with the jacket and stuff. Like, it's, I mean, it's great, it's good for us, now the machine works. Helga meeting Helga. Old Helga meeting middle Helga. I guess now in season 2 we're gonna see middle Helga meet young Helga, because young Helga is now in the room where it happens. And now of course that we know that Jonas is Jonas. The middle Jonas is the young Jonas. My poor battery is dying. I'm gonna try to be fast before it dies. But yeah, now that we know that, oh my god, that Jonas is Jonas. Of course, they have also had a conversation. When I was like, is Helge the first one to have a conversation with himself in the show? But no, Jonas has done that as well, now that we know that the stranger is Jonas. I have high hopes for Charlotte. I love that she met Jonas, the young Jonas, in the 80s. And I really hope that she will figure out that Helge was with Helge in the car crash in the 80s as well. I'm very excited for her character and to see what she will figure out and how long she's gonna take to figure things out, you know. I believe in her. This is fantastic. I can't wait. The scar face girl in the end. I have no theories. Who could that be? Because it can't be someone... It could be someone who's very young in the 2019, if this is 33 years after. We don't even know that though. This could be like 66 years in the future. Who knows? But yeah, I'm like, oh, we don't know anyone that young that it could be her. I don't think I have any theories. Maybe we'll get to the theories in the beginning of the video for season 2, episode 1. But I think this is it. This has been a long session already. Thanks guys for watching. Thank you for watching the whole season. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to start watching season 2 already, you can on Patreon, and for members on YouTube, that's available. And thank you to all the members, all the legends, for watching this beforehand. And I can't wait to start season 2. This is crazy. This show is absolutely insane, and I love it so much. I love watching it. So thanks for watching with me, guys. I will see you in season 2. Bye.